Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Shankly Sessions, and this is your Liverpool versus Leicester match reaction and player ratings. What a win for the Reds last tonight. 2-0. Absolutely fantastic display. At times sublime, could have scored a hell of a lot more, but unbelievable. I've never seen a bench as strong. Leicester, very, very lackluster. I mean, if you think of all the players that played there, really only Kasper Schmeichel is the only guy who could walk off the pitch and say he put a shift in. Serious problems there for Brendan Rodgers. They just look so disinterested, and his picks as well. The lineup I thought was absolutely crazy. Two midfielders and centre backs when he has centre backs sitting on the bench. Barnes on the bench. A lot of players there that could impact the game, and I just don't know what's going on with Brendan there at the moment. It's like he's kind of checked out. They're on a real struggle, void of confidence, and look really, really poor. Look like a real proper bottom half team. Although Liverpool came out of the blocks really, really fast. What a lineup. Luis Diaz in there and all, but we'll go through it. Trent, I mean, Allison obviously first of all had literally nothing to do all night, absolutely nothing. Trent at times absolutely brilliant again, always trying to probe, balls always going through him, the play mainly going through him most of the time, even when he's switching the ball out left and stuff like that. Absolutely fantastic at times. Up near the box at times, I thought he was just a tad bit casual. If there's one thing I could pick out, but I'm really only nitpicking at this stage because really, really good performance from Trent. But at times just a little bit casual, just at that moment when you don't want him to be. Matip, of course, came in, needed a good game. He could have played Kanate, he could have played Matip. Again, we've so many options on the bench. Kanate, Mo Salah, Harvey Elliott, Minamino, James Milner. What a bench we have now. It's unbelievable the turnaround in terms of options that we have. But Matip needed a good game and had a good game, always driving forward, trying to create, make things happen. And of course, got a brilliant assist for Diogo Jota's second goal. So brilliant to see that as well. So good stuff from Joel Matip because he had been a bit shaky in the previous two performances. Van Dijk, easy night for Van Dijk, absolutely on the shower at this stage. Robbo always pound forward and like that kind of link up play with Diaz. It was good to see his interview after the game where he said his Scottish isn't what it should be, and he says my Spanish isn't what it should be. But absolutely brilliant. Looks seamless to be honest. And we'll get on to talk about Luis Diaz in a little bit. The only thing I would say about the high line, we need to be really, really careful with that high line because cleverer players who can turn and bend that run might catch us out. And I noticed a couple of times last night on the high line as well, it wasn't exactly as straight as you want it to be. At times, Van Dijk was a little bit deep. At times, Trent was playing guys on. So we need to be a little bit careful that if you are playing a high line, all four boys got to be in tune with each other and make sure that they know exactly where they are. Otherwise, we could get caught out. Just a small thing. I'm nitpicking here because it was such a good performance. Jota on 34 steps up. Brilliant ball in from Trent. What a run from Van Dijk to lose Ndidi. Smashes ahead at Kasper Schmeichel with a fabulous save. So unlucky having to palm it out and Jota there to pick it up. What a goal by Jota. Absolute poacher's goal. Buries it back in net 1-0. Jota really is becoming like I don't know whether I should say this or not, but I'm going to say it anyway. Like there's shades of Fowler there, isn't there? Like just in the right place at the right time and knows where to be. So absolutely fantastic from Jota. Firmino on 50 picking up a booking, kind of needless. I think it was more out of frustration. I think what we're seeing with Bobby Firmino these days is the game is kind of gone by him a little bit, and he's struggling to get involved and becoming nearly like, I hate to say it, nearly like a bit part player type of thing. So at times he has to drop really, really deep to get any involvement at all. And I think when you look at the players that are coming in and the players that are there, they're starting to go by him. I think Bobby is going to potentially struggle to hold his place in the team. And I hate to say that. I love Bobby Firmino. Thiago, Fabinho and Jones in the midfield. I was very happy to see this. I have been very negative about our midfields at times and how negative it is with a lack of creativity and stuff like that. Some of it brought on by injury. which there's not a whole lot we can do about it. But when these boys are available, that's the kind of midfield you want in there. Thiago pulling the strings, and also a boy who gets stuck in. Fabinho, we know, is a 9 out of 10 nearly every week. Absolute sublime. Probably the best player in the world in his position. But Jones there as well, giving you that forward thinking and that forward playing, stuff like that. Always probing, always progressing. Doesn't necessarily have to pass back or pass sideways. Always picks up the ball, looks for that positive pass all the time. So great to see that nice balance in there and that forward thinking between the three of them. Even Fabinho last night, and I don't know whether it was a symptom of how bad Leicester was or whether it was a symptom of how that midfield was working as a unit, but he was even getting more forward. He didn't have to play that heavy defensive shadowing role. As I said already, Jota, absolute proper poacher, starting to look like Fowler without a shadow of a doubt. Let's talk about the front line. Luis Diaz. Let's start with Luis Diaz. I mean, this guy has integrated into this team absolutely seamlessly. The job that the recruitment department are doing is just phenomenal. They're just knocking it out of the park nearly every single time. And this guy looks like a proper baller. Do we see shades of Suarez in him? Really, really aggressive, which is what you want, in possession and out of possession, fighting all the time. At one stage, he was across the whole front line last night. At one stage, he started on the left and ended up out on the right, probing, pushing, looking to get on the end of everything. Did everything last night absolutely brilliantly, except put the ball in the back of the net. And that will come, there's no doubt about it. That guy will score bags of goals and also create a bunch of assists. Absolutely brilliant signing. Spurs must be kicking themselves that they didn't get him over the line, but a brilliant signing for us. Integrated straight away. Looks like a proper power team. Looks like he's been there months at this stage, but absolutely brilliant. Mo Salah, chomping at the bit. Couldn't wait to get back from the AFCON and put the disappointment of the final behind him. Told Klopp that he wanted to be involved, didn't want to be rested. Brought on 60 minutes, I think. Itching to get on. Him and Harvey Elliott couldn't wait to get on. Now here's, just stop ourselves there. Luis Diaz, Firmino and Jota, right? And we have Mo Salah and we have Harvey Elliott to come on. Pinch yourselves, Liverpool fans. Pinch yourselves at the abundance of riches we suddenly have when we have a full crew and a full squad there. My God, it's unbelievable. And it's amazing the difference. Like Konate came in, options at the back. Joel Matip having a real good season, not being injured and stuff like that. Unbelievable. Luis Diaz coming in to shake up that front line. Mane still to come back after winning the AFCON. Keeping in touch with the title race. Keeping the pressure on Man City. We're not going away anytime soon. Got to keep that pressure on. Got to keep on winning games, and hopefully they slip up prior to us going to the Etihad, so we can reel them back in. And we're fighting on all four fronts. Absolutely brilliant. It's a sublime time to be a Liverpool fan, without a shadow of a doubt. But I thought Mo Salah on the sideline, he couldn't wait to get on. He was dying to get on and get in there and get involved in the match. So unlucky with that curling attempt as well that came off the connection between the post and the upright. Just crossbar. I was hoping it would win because it was such a brilliant move and stuff like that. And he's just a knife for goal and stuff like that. And the combination of him, imagine the combination when we do get it going of him, Jota, Diaz, and we still have Mane, Firmino, Harvey Elliott, all these guys available. Abundance of riches. Klopp must be rubbing his hands. Hopefully he signs another contract and stays, because you can see what we're doing. And there is talk of the boy Carvalho coming in as well. Imagine when we introduce him as well, if that was to happen in the summer, plus whatever else they're thinking of bringing in. So yeah, absolutely brilliant last night. Fantastic performance. Deserved more goals. Brilliant introduction of Luis Diaz. And brilliant in terms of the timing of the substitution as well, so he could feel the applause of that crowd. And I'm sure there was shivers going up his spine before kickoff when he was listening to "You'll Never Walk Alone." The one thing I would say about it, sometimes that crowd over there needs a proper wake-up call, because they were so quiet last night at times, and they only woke up at certain times and stuff like that. Klopp keeps on talking about this in his press conference and in his notes. We need that 12 man there at Anfield to keep on pushing us forward. And as we know last night, 1-0 can be a difficult scoreline, very, very dangerous. But once you get that second goal, it settles in. But it took us a time to get that second goal. It was the 87th minute. So we need that crowd pumping all the time. So if you're over there, if you're going to Anfield, give your head a wobble and start cheering on your team. Let's get this noise going. Let's get a Luis Diaz chant. Let's get a Harvey Elliott one going. He's back in the side. Mo Salah. Great reaction we got for him last night coming on. The crowd was fantastic for that. But they get up and then they suddenly disappeared again, and the team needs you to drive them forward. So in future, get on it, Anfield crowd. Let's do this. Player ratings: Alisson Becker, 7 out of 10. Literally had nothing to do. Could have went on holidays last night. Trent, unbelievable, a 7. Full range of passing last night, unbelievable, you know. Also had a couple of shots and stuff like that, and stung Schmeichel's hands a few times. The corner into Van Dijk is absolutely sublime, without a shadow of a doubt. Joel Matip gave an 8 last night. You know, showed last night, I think, why he's the preferred partner for Virgil van Dijk. No disrespect to Kanate and stuff like that. But even these little probes where he's driving forward and stuff like that, and also got the assist for the second Jota goal. Fantastic from Joel Matip. And wonderful to see him having a season injury-free. Touch wood. Don't want to risk anything there. But fair play, Joel Matip. Van Dijk got an 8. You know, how do you rate Virgil van Dijk? I mean, he's sublime. Like, he just makes everything so simple, everything so calm. You know what I mean? And even at times when they did have a couple of opportunities, you see him there, he's absolutely tearing into Trent, even at 2-0, even with only a couple of minutes ago, tearing into Trent. Do your job and all this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Real captain material there, especially at a time where our captain Jordan Henderson might find it difficult to get into the side and may become a kind of a sub or a bit part player. I'm not too sure. No disrespect to Jordan, he's been wonderful for us. But I think, again, when you're looking at a midfield of those boys there, it's going to be very hard to break in. The likes of himself and Ox and stuff like that, it will be tough. Robbo gave an 8. The combination with Diaz, you know, it's just a glimpse of what's to come. Absolutely brilliant link-up play. No doubt Diaz is Scottish will get better, and no doubt Robbo will get better at Spanish. But between the two of them, they look like they've been playing together for a while. Their link-up play was fantastic. Robbo probing all the time. Absolutely brilliant. Give him an 8. Thiago also gave an 8. You know, buzzing around with intent all the time and always getting stuck in, chasing balls down and stuff like that. What you want from Thiago. And again, if he can just get a run in the team where he doesn't get injured as well, he's going to have a huge part to play between now and the end of the season as the run in and the chase on all 4 fronts continues. So absolutely brilliant. Fabinho with an 8, you know, always breaking down the lines when in possession and stuff like that, and always, you know, checking and making sure nothing really gets by him. Absolutely brilliant. Menace to Leicester all the time, especially when he's pushing forward as well. Absolutely brilliant. Curtis, I give a 6 to Curtis. I mean, by his standards, and his standards should be up there, a little bit off compared to the other two and stuff like that. Tried a few times in terms of probing and stuff like that, but not up to the level that we would expect by Curtis. Replaced by Elliot for the final half hour. Which is, you know, it's a great change, and no disrespect to Curtis, but I mean, you know, sometimes you're just not in the game the way you should be. Diogo Jota gave a 9 to. Absolutely unbelievable. Just puts himself about, gets stuck in, an absolute menace at times. Doesn't give you time to breathe, suffocates you on the back line, but always knows where to crop up. I think that's now 12 goals in the league, and I think 16 goals in total, or 17 goals in total this season, which is a phenomenal return for Diogo Jota. Diogo goals. This man is looking more and more like Fowler all the time, as I said in the review of the match. Unbelievable. Give him a 9. Fantastic. And, you know, probably could have got a hat-trick, to be honest, you know, but brilliant from Diogo. Roberto Firmino, I gave a 6 to. You know, he's really taken his time to get going. Out of everyone on the pitch, when you see the pitch moving the way it is and the pace of it and stuff like that, he's kind of lacking that bit of pace at the moment. He's lacking that kind of energy to get up the game time. I don't know whether it's coming back off the injury or whatever it is, but he seems to be out of the game and off the pace at times. And it's just something he'll need to work on, because especially last night, you know, where you've such a poor Leicester side that aren't really performing at all, and him dropping deep and picking up that card, it was more frustration and petulance of not being in the game. And then when you see the likes of Diaz and the speed at which he moves and the speed at which Mo moves and stuff like that, I think for Bobby, he's going to have to figure out what he needs to do to get into these games, because otherwise he'll find himself out of the team and on the bench. And there's certainly shouts there for guys to go in there in a different kind of makeup of the tree. And that's even with Mane due to come back. Luis Diaz gave him an 8. He was the man of the match. This guy fizzed around all night. Right from the off, he was getting stuck in down that left flank. turning guys, moving guys around. Very unlucky with that ball that was played in there that just caught his heels and he didn't let it go across him. Had a couple of opportunities, very unlucky, but that will come in time, bedding in and stuff like that. Link-up play with Robbo was really, really good. Moving around the front line all the time, trying to create opportunities and open up space and stuff like that. But the speed at which this guy moves, it's amazing as well, because I think this guy, because he moves so fast, I think at times he will be flagged for offside, and he won't have been offside, because I was looking at him last night, and when the camera panned to him when the ball goes to him, he's 5-6 yards ahead of the defender already, and it's just his speed is outrageous. His power, his speed, his strength, everything wrapped up in one package that Klopp would want. Absolutely brilliant. Mo Salah came on 59 minutes for Bobby Firmino, obviously chomping at the bit to come on, as only he does, and was absolutely brilliant. Came on very unlucky with a couple of opportunities, but always tricking and moving and, moving around. And I think his link-up play, I think he'll be brilliant with Diaz and with Jota. I think there's just a force and there's a power there. And it was amazing. He wanted to come back straight away. There was no messing around. Didn't need time off to get over this final. I think he was back in Liverpool on the Monday or the Tuesday, and he was onto the gaffer straight away. Listen, I want to be included for the Leicester game on Thursday. So that's, hopefully that's a good sign. And hopefully that's a sign that this guy wants to stick around and he may sign this contract now, which would be absolutely brilliant if we could tie Mo down, be fantastic. And only for Schmeichel. I mean, he could have had a couple as well, Harvey Elliott came on for Jones on 59, providing more of a threat than what Curtis did. Different type of player, Harvey, obviously, linked up well with Salah down the right, so we give him a 7. And Taki came on for Diaz kind of on the 89th minute or something like that. It was really just to let the Anfield crowd applaud off the new boy and let him feel that love from that crowd. Absolutely brilliant psychology there from Klopp. Klopp is just a master, isn't he, at so many levels. Absolutely brilliant in the way that he does stuff. But we roll on now. Sunday, 2 o'clock, Burnley at Turf Moor. Obviously going to be another tough one again. As I said in so many of these shows, every game now is going to feel like a cup final. We can't let Man City get away from us at all. We can't afford to drop any points. And with them playing earlier, they're the evening game, I think, against away to Norwich, which won't be an easy game, but you would expect them to pick up the 3 points. But we have to go again, professional job, get out there against Burnley, go at them from the off, get a few goals on the board, get a bit of confidence going, and roll into the Inter Milan game next week, roll on the Champions League coming back. So these games are going to be coming helter-skelter now. Burnley, we got to make up that Leeds game, Inter Milan, then we're going to have the Carabao Cup final. So there's so much to look forward to now, Reds fans, and we'll be buoyed after that match. It was unbelievable. Great options on the bench, fantastic performance, deserved more goals, great introduction of Luis Diaz in terms of his debut at Anfield under the lights in the league. Till next time, Reds, let's do this at the weekend and keep this ball rolling, keep this title race alive. We will talk to you again real soon.